A baby was mentioned. Yeah, I remember. I remember. May I tell you a few things that will not lead to any new endings? Bits? I'm not sure. I don't know. Why do you want to tell them to me? Do you think...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could
Do you
it mean?
think I will not find them on my own? Or is it like outside of the game information? To save a little
No matter how
time.
hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace
not
of his
sure.
co-workers.
Because I feel I'm still like finding stuff relatively quickly. Like one thing that I'm curious about is like this awaiting input on the different monitors, because I think we only missed like 1 or 2 of those inputs and it feels like this is gonna lead to something. So that's something I'm curious about. To avoid going down dead ends.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I mean, right now I feel like going further the right path
This
here.
was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I guess
Stanley
if
felt
I
lightheaded,
go like
butterflies
I have
in his stomach.
now
Giddy
only
away,
seen
he had
one
never
ending
known
twice,
before.
and that was because
Was
I
it this
wanted to
room? A connection between the two?
try something.
Could a man love a room? I mean, truly, truly, deeply, madly love.
This is new.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though
Yeah,
all your co-workers
I
have
think,
mysteriously
like
vanished,
CC, I don't know if you were
all
around
set of
when I
these
was in this
chairs
room
and
before,
paintings.
like after you told me go there again and spend more time there. Because I feel like I did that and nothing new came up in the end.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with... But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on
So
his
yeah,
left.
I waited for a
back
long
to
time and
business.
nothing new came, but this, like, re-entering these things then gives me new information or new lines. So I don't know, didn't feel like there was more coming there.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something
Nice.
bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
This is a new path. Oh, kitty. I let the kitty out real quick. I let Stanley out real quick. Thanks for the cat jam. Ooh.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Okay. You want to be my friend? I walked through
Oh,
it.
thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I want it to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you. What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
So we get the happy narrator ending. I think the game plays on what you would normally do in a game, hence why it was expecting you to have run round and round. Let's stay here for a few hours. That sounds good. Question is, nowadays, I mean, I don't know when did this game come out, quite a while ago, right? But I don't know, I think things might also have changed about what you normally do in games, because there have so many games that like pushed the boundaries of what you think a game is and can do. So I feel like people are more interested now in, maybe they always were in a way, of testing like the boundaries of a game, so that's what you normally do in a game. So I think they probably expect you to not do what you are told to do, because that's the least interesting part about playing games normally.
No, wait. Where are you going?
Okay, I can go back if you like it.
Right.
Yeah, but... yeah, well.
Oh no! Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Okay.
Good. We can't be too safe. Promise me you won't go back there.
Nice, so they did consider this.
Stay
That's
here.
cool. Okay, 2011 the mod and 2013 the actual game. That's quite a while ago. Yeah, so I would consider this one of the boundary pushing games.
No! What do we talk about? You're risking everything we achieved here.
Oh well.
You heard me before, didn't you? You will die! What about this isn't getting through to you? Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
Poor narrator. What is the following game called? That isn't even a game. What, Gracie?
You are going to stay here, aren't you?
Oh, I thought maybe I can hop off of this thing too. Are you surprised by how often I'm... the beginner's guide, okay. Are you surprised by how often I'm willing to go back and forth? It's interesting, but not sure if I like it or it pisses me off. Why not both? I mean... Or, I'm delayed. Game wants you to commit suicide. Yep, I mean, but... At this point... Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't feel too extreme anymore. Although the setup is interesting.
Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
I'll do it just like I walked into this. Without looking. Just a step back. Don't even know when it's gonna be. See, we're kinda already in the air.
No!
Oh.
Oh, thank God. You lived.
Now it's
You
interesting.
had me worried there for a moment. Now.
Oh, damn it. No.
No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm
Now-
asking you not to take
now
this away
it's-
from
oh
me.
wow,
I
what
can't
the
go back
fuck?
to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this? Stanley?
Oh, game.
Let's go back to the other room. My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally
Oh,
willing
damn.
to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
Oh,
Maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
okay, we go back. One last time. I'm gonna give you false hope.
Do you actually want to stay alive? Or are you just teasing me?
Good question.
I wanted us to be happy here, Stanley. I really did. I wish I still thought that was possible.
You knew all along. I wish I could live forever. Yeah, I mean, if living forever would also means experiencing stuff forever, then yeah, I would be up for it, I think. I mean, if it was experiencing interesting, not only bad stuff forever, I guess.
Is it over?
Okay, this
It's
is
going
it.
to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Yeah, it's restarting. Poor narrator. You would take it? Living forever, only experiencing bad stuff? Seriously? Ah, what if you were stuck in here forever? That's what you would take. Okay, yeah. I don't know. If I was stuck there with the narrator, maybe? It might be interesting, although the narrator seems kinda dull in that room. But yeah, I don't know. Living forever is really like so unimaginable that it's already like a super tough
All of his co-workers
question.
were gone. What could it mean?
We get
Stanley
more
decided to go to
input.
the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked,
Or don't
he
we?
couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Damn it, we can't
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it
Can't
didn't make a
input on
single
this one, although it
difference.
shows it.
Nor did it advance the
Yeah,
story
I guess
in any
living
way.
forever is really such a unimaginable thing. So it's also hard to know how you would live your life if you knew you had infinite time. Because the limitations of our lifespan kinda also are a motivator. So I don't know, it's a really tough question because it's so tough to imagine that state of being. Because it is such an important factor of us to be aware, like for us as humans to be aware that our time is limited. It's kind of part of what separates us from pretty much all of the other species, that we can think about our existence and know that it is limited and all of that. So it is a pretty important factor to human existence. So it's hard to say for me, yeah, living forever would be cool. I definitely would like to live much, much longer though. That's something I can say for sure.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
The lounge was grand, majestic, perhaps too majestic, like a combination of a much smaller version and a much larger version of this exact room. It all made Stanley uncomfortable, and he started to bleed a little. This made him smile.
Oh yes, I know I can crouch. Yeah, thanks for mentioning. There's probably a good reason for being able to crouch. I don't think I've found a reason for it yet.
Yes, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Guess I'll just crouch for a while, just because I can. I know I can crouch, I know I can jump. I got an achievement for not being able to jump. 200 years, yeah, I would take it. Probably even 500. Although, with the stuff humanity is doing right now, messing up this planet. So
it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Hard to say.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
Because that might become a pretty shitty existence pretty quickly.
Trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. What? Really? I was in the middle of something.
I like this. Really?
For others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why? I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you.
Narrator is really good.
Beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating. Stanley walked through the red door.
See.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you?
Come on.
Do you not think I put a lot of time into that?
The other door ending was not that
and in
interesting.
The end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill
Sleep well,
trees?
CC. Sorry for keeping you so long. Hope your appointment will be good.
Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
What if I don't? Okay. Nice.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Oh, well, now this is useful. You didn't like it, but you didn't totally hate it either. You enjoyed it, perhaps is the correct term. It didn't cause you excruciating pain. Big steps we've made here today, Stanley. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Actually, I think Hikari is right. I should stop playing this and start playing Minecraft instead. Stanley Parable, worldwide leaderboard. Oh, Okay.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life.
Well, I found a baby.
I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Hi, Prof. Pretty sure that babies are TOS. I'm sorry, Cosmo. I did not mean to. Sorry, baby.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here?
I'm sorry. Sorry for.
Yes. This seems like
doing
it'll
this
work.
to you.
Let's give it a shot.
I get the unsub.
Well, Stanley, is this any better? At last, the one thing you've always desired.
Oh.
A game I had absolutely nothing to do with. But is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough? Well, I'll say this. I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house. This will go here. No, here. And then...
Yeah, sure. Let me...
Let's see, what does it need? Yes, of course. And just to finish it all
send you the
off,
required information on my Discord later.
complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel
So you should
ashamed
not
at your
100%
own
it. Yeah,
inadequacy.
I don't want to play the
Ah,
baby game for
but you've
4
only
hours.
seen it from the
Oh,
outside.
here we are.
You've only gotten half the experience. Please,
Nice house
step
you got
inside
there.
and make yourself
That's
comfortable.
awesome. Yeah, don't mind if I do. Very creative.
Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect?
Yeah.
It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond.
Oh yeah.
Diamond everything. Yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
But the creepers!
Oh my, it looks like it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light?
What if I didn't? Oh, coal. Damn it.
Oh, no. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay, new game.
No. Better change the game in the description. Hey, it answered Hikari's request. Oh, nice.
I don't even know what this game is, but I love
Yes, me too.
it. You, trapped in a glass box.
Still can't
with no
jump
way
though,
out,
that's bad.
Listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
The putting stuff in the toilet simulator. Come on. This goes in there. Have to understand.
Get the!
Whoa! Sorry, it's always what I've enjoyed most. And oh no, this looks dangerous. Whatever. You never played this game? No spoilers for Portal? Okay. It's very good. That might be a spoiler, but... Second part is even better though.
Ooh, it's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley. Your forte. Genius.
Oh, you never played Stanley? What? Really?
No, actually, you know what? I think that's plenty. I really don't care much to see you stumble through any more of these games.
Oh. Guess I'm out of bounds. Spoiler, try to get stuck in this room. Oh, too late. Okay. Stanley Parable alpha test. I think I fell. Right. Stanley Parable ADHD version. Yeah, we'll get back to the Stanley Parable eventually. Oh. That was a pointless room, apparently. At least I couldn't find anything useful.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Good morning. Oh.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure.
We had this one
What if
before.
he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility?
Back
He had
to
never been
work.
trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing.
We had that before. Narrator can date GLaDOS, I think. Oh yeah, that I didn't fully get to the depth of my brain. That makes sense. Yeah, I think that would be an okay fit, as far as I can tell yet. They might drive each other crazy, but I want Portal instead. Best game series ever. I don't know if I would agree to that, but I really like Portal and Portal 2, and I mean, they have set quite an example.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I wonder if there's more down here.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss
This is
would
just
think he
the
was
same
crazy.
ending again.
And then
Alright.
something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment.
Fever dream? Spoiler, there's nothing more down here. Yeah, P-break, nothing down there. Okay.
Why did
P-break,
doors close
or
automatically
restart the
behind him
game.
wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty
Still
familiar.
not sure if that does reset more or if it's just a
Stanley
normal
said to
restart.
himself, "This is
I'm
all too
curious, but
strange. This-"
I guess it doesn't. I think you can't save the game unless you activate saving in the options here. Just like the achievements. You have to activate saves first. That's only why I thought about it. Alright, begin the game again. Huh.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
What's that black bar appearing in front of it? Oh, that worked. It tried to block me from doing an input, I guess, but now I got it. Perfect. Huh.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Yeah, I thought that there was not more in the mind control facility. That would not have been a place I would go now. So I guess what I do want is just another restart and then try to figure out if there's a monitor for the final input. That's something I'm curious about now, since I got the fourth one. So I want to find the final one. And I don't know about the left path from the mind control facility.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Like the escape path. I don't know how many options I had there. I guess I didn't play it fully to the end because they told me to quit the game, and I did that.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
I have done the escape path, but I did not see the museum ending fully through. And I'm not sure if there's more than one ending there. Like, something maybe might still be possible to do there at the end. So nothing is down there that we know.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I mean, the thing is also I don't know where the path will be final. To be rich, is it a crime? To commit crimes, isn't it rich? What a life it would be to have to pick just one. I mean, that's new at least. Doors monthly. I guess outdoors maybe. That then still makes sense.
Here's the door, just go.
You will need our help to find the other endings. Are you sure? I mean, the one thing that I still have going is, as I've said, the input on the monitors, but I think we need another reset. Yeah, I mean, I might just go to the escape ending and see it through, because I haven't yet.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
And then we'll see.
The word escape written on it. The truth was,
yeah, but I mean, I made progress with the monitors so far. So I'm curious about if I can find the final one, maybe.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Nope. I will take hints, I think, soon-ish, but not quite yet.
And willingly confront his death.
But I think we'll be there soon. At the I take hints point of this game for me personally.
As the machine word into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Bye.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
I had forgotten about Minecraft, honestly. I thought you were serious. Nah.
And yet
Hikari likes to hint at stuff without making it too obvious.
Back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Maybe I get some hints here. Maintenance room. We've seen that. I've read this part. Also this part. So what do we have here? The lounge. Early version of the lounge. Okay. Previous version of the choice leading to the apartment ending. A timer would give you 15 seconds to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone would lead to a different ending. Okay. So I guess that's not the case anymore. No, there's just picking it up or unplugging it. Vent. Maintenance lounge. The flow of hallways following the first two doors was important to get right, since players will replay them so many times. We discussed a number of designs, but ultimately it was the simplest version that won out. So no venting, I guess. Part of the Zending. Z-ending. Zending? Early version of the ending known as the Zending, which was eventually cut and merged with another part of the game. Oh, okay. Zending model. Oh, the Zending went through many iterations. This rumor is the fourth version of the ending, and we thought it was complete, but decided to abandon and change it again shortly before launch. Alright. Escape menu. Long time we had an ending that only ended when the player restarted from the escape menu. Unfortunately, very few players realized this was what they were supposed to do, which was frustrating for everyone. Maybe it's still there, and maybe they are hinting at that it's still there then, but I don't know. Maybe not. Monitor room elevator. Up or down, with freedom above and countdown below. We abandoned this when players found it too difficult to remember when what was up and what was down and place 2 endings together instead. Okay, countdown room. I've been there. Countdown desk. Freedom ending. This was the very first incarnation of the freedom ending in the game's alpha, and we have the outtakes over there. Office clock. Boss's office. Did have a you win ending. I also had the freedom ending. I also had the line. Well.
Oh, look at these two. How
Let's see
they
it
wish
through
to
this
destroy
time.
one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
Yeah, confusion ending I think I had,
You
right?
can still save these two. You can stop the program.
Oh yes,
if
yeah,
they
the
both
confusion,
fail.
the one with the line.
Push
Yeah,
escape
yeah.
and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path.
That was fun, definitely.
Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time.
Time shows for me. So that's all I missed. Well then.
What? Unacceptable!
Did this wake you up? I'm sorry. New saved game. Resume the game. Welcome to Eternal Darkness. This is where we spent the rest of the stream. Okay.
1,000,000 years dungeon!
Isaac! Oh, well, here we are. I thought so, that it might be on this monitor. See, I found another ending. Nice, we're in heaven. What do I get for pressing all the buttons? Oh, they turn on again, I think. Yeah, they do, okay. It's just, the eternal joy of pressing buttons. Fidget spinner indeed. Yeah, I'll just save this and might restart. But in case I want to go back here, at least I can. But I don't think there's anything else here, right? Let me know if there's anything else here. No? What no? No restarting? Just buttons. Okay. Nice. Okay. No! No, I didn't even interact with it. Leave me alone. Don't lie, when you press 1,000,000 buttons, an extra row of buttons appears. Oh, damn it. Well, I'm glad I saved. I mean, I can always go back there, but I'm still glad I saved, just to be safe. Oh no, oh no, oh no. It's always happening now. Okay. Yeah, so that...
All of his co-workers were gone.
That was...
What could it
Wait,
mean?
what's down here?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had
Not
simply
too
missed a
much,
memo.
okay.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a
I haven't
trace
done
of his
much
co-workers.
crouching. Maybe crouching will help with things. Let me crouch and look for something, and if I don't find anything interesting, then I might be willing to accept hints. If you really think that I need them, that I can't really find the other remaining endings in a reasonable amount of time. I mean, you could just give me hints and tell me crouching will help in this room. In which room? The one I already left, probably, because you wrote that assuming, like I assume you wrote that a while ago. Yeah, okay. Well then I guess then that's a hint I'm willing to accept. I mean, it's here. Well, this is new.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
How did I do
No
this?
matter how hard Stanley looked,
Did I do it
he
with
couldn't
a
find
copier
trace
by
of his
interacting with
co-workers.
it? Oh. Maybe? Probably, yeah, I can't interact with it anymore. I guess I made a few copies of those pages. For the love of God, please unplug me. The sterile office, the damn carpet, the tripe you call conversation. Kill me, I have been printing these for weeks. Why has no one turned me off yet? Fling me from the window, and a hammer. Wait, send a hammer. Though my paper tray. The method matters not. The horror licks at my soul. All I desire, release. Hopefully, what's this one? There's something on this one too. Something we can read. Not too much because there's something on top, but... anything but death. Hopefully I will find out soon. Something like that. Is there anything else we can read? Maybe it's a clue. Maybe. Yeah, they are. Fling me from the window. I mean, I would like to do that, but... Yeah, we can check if there's more that's brighter than the rest, but so far I see only those two. Also, more and more mugs are appearing. And these are glitchy. Good job, devs. Good job. I can't pick anything up except when in Portal. I don't see any more papers you can read in here. Want another clue? Is there anything else in this room, like, or should I just move on to the part? I mean, here's even more paper on the floor over here. Just scared of moving over this doorstep. Still have to do something in this room. Okay, I mean, that's already a hint. How I Met Your Mother episode where the one guy stands on the desk and pees. I mean, I've been standing on a desk in this room, right? That's something. That's something I can do. Oh, okay. Here we go. Standing on a desk and crouching.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet? Ah, then in that case we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other options so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Thanks. Nice.
Two hours later.
Okay.
All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
Oh? Okay. Oh wait, here we go. Maybe. Or do I have to activate the... No, but I was standing on this before. No, here we are, okay.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet? Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want, like right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain. There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable, and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. You too will become quite unbearable.
Why is my green screen malfunctioning? Shouldn't do that. Oh well. Soothing. Yeah, it's a musical now. We'll see where this goes. Don't have subtitles for this though, did we? I think it might be looping now. Is it? You may let me know if there's anything more, or not. 2 hours later is on cooldown. Yeah, it sounds like it's just looping the music now. Or... Oh! 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 It isn't. I mean, still nothing. But still, there was an end to it. And we made it there, so that's cool. I think this is it, but just in case. Alright. Huh. Well, this looks different.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
You've lost track of the endings? Huh. That's not good.
And here it was, the lounge. What a room, Stanley thought to himself. What a room, what a room, what a room. This is what Stanley thought. What a room. What a room, what a room. What a room. Va-va-voom. What a room.
The wow-wow-voom was not even in there.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
What is this?
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly
Journal
on
of
his
the
overall personality.
extended
It's possible that this is why
exposed to
everyone
launch
left.
day 4. Also, I'm hungry, I can see.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue. But when a long time had
Someone has
passed and there
spoken
was
to
no
me,
more,
yes,
he
but in a
decided that the
cryptic
game was trying to
tongue.
send him a message.
Okay. Single mode of clarity, a memory, or perhaps not a memory, but an insight into the past or something like that. The proof that never happened. The past that never happened, okay. Let's see what you... I know one thing you won't have done though. I'll give you one thing to do when you get bored. Is there something in this room? Something interesting I can do in this room? Aside from waiting infinitely. Not as far as I know. Okay. Wanna give me one thing to do when I get bored? Alright, go ahead.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Don't let narrator trap you in the boss's office. Huh. So you mean I can like still go back at a certain point? You can look at it. Is there anything down this maintenance path here? This was like the confusion path, right? Is there anything else, or will we just go down the confusion path again if we go in there? I mean, sure. If you would do that. Nothing down there. Okay. Hikari knows. Hikari doesn't need
Stanley was
charts.
so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Okay, so in here I have already killed myself. I have jumped over to this platform there. I have taken the ride all the way over and unplugged the phone, answered the phone. I guess one thing I have not done is activate the platform and then just go back.
Oh, well, look who's got cold feet. Sorry to break it to you, Stanley, but that lift isn't coming back. You'd best either get comfortable right here on this platform or test your luck
So
by
this is
jumping
new.
to the floor below. You know what? Looking at it now, it's not that far to the bottom floor. I bet you can make it.
This is new.
Come
I assume
on.
we'll
I'm
just
sure
die,
you'll survive
but
the jump. Don't tell me you're scared. That's not the Stanley I know. Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it!
what do we have here? 5th annual subcommittee meeting of internal revenue analysis for committees of the Royal Revenue Dissensions Club. No girls. What the heck? Dude, I'm so wasted right now. Okay. Committee hereby proposes the following. That all internal revenues be reviewed exclusively by internal members of royally appointed subcommittees. Whatever. The human beings accepting the members of the 5th annual subcommittee meeting of internal revenue analysis for committees of royal revenue smell. Dude, I'm so wasted right now. Here, I thought I must approve this statement. Okay, that was worth the read. That we can't really read, although it still looks like there's actual text on that. Maybe if I play this at 4K, I might be able to make it out. But can't do that while streaming. I picked up an unplugged phone. I did pick up an unplugged phone. I just unplugged it. I don't know what happened then exactly.
Whoops.
Oh.
Looks like I was wrong. How clumsy of me.
Did you pick up the phone? Yes, while it was ringing, I did. I mean, I did get an ending after unplugging it. I don't quite remember. You can get down there and survive. Like, as a bug or as a feature?
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of
This is
time.
also new dialogue. I think. Also, what's on the screen here? Oh, this is new. I don't want to see that. I don't think I've had this before. I'm not sure, like killing myself was the first ending I got, so I don't quite remember. Might have been like this. Yeah, I met her. Yes. I did. Like, I went to the apartment. I did get the apartment ending. And then I was allowed to press buttons. 2 endings left.
Stanley clicked on literally every single door in the office because he doesn't pick up well on cues from his environment.
That's okay. Oh, okay. Alright. Guess we better start clicking then on all of them because I don't know which one. Okay. Can you maybe narrow down where the
When
endings...
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
Endings can be
he
found.
entered the door on his left.
Like you said, all right door endings are done if I'm correct, right? Okay. Read Steam achievements. Okay, well that might help for finding the right door. But... Huh. Well, I didn't find this before. Found the Employee of the Year! That's something. That's new indeed. Is it new for you as well? It certainly is new for me. Can't say I've ever noticed it. finding new things still. Okay, the boss's office, alright.
Yet there was not a single person here
Let's
either.
try not to get
Feeling a
trapped
wave
there.
of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
So, I mean, the door closes at some point. I think it closes when I go to the right, right? That's not his office. Oh, the next door is the office, okay. Let's see what's new in here. Okay, we had this text already. Yeah, the big room. Okay, so this door is not what you meant, so basically I just have to run back as soon as the door starts closing. Or what?
Here's the door, just go.
Damn it. Yes? Okay, then I did it wrong. I guess I should have saved. But there's no load button, by the way, I realize. Too slow. Okay, yeah, it's about timing. I assume then.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a
okay,
memo.
yeah, next. Okay, employee of the year is getting more frequent. I think you would have remembered if that happened to you too.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, I get it. Interesting.
Yet there was
I
not
don't
a
get it,
single
but,
person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh, I did get an ending where there was in the boss's office like not a keypad there, but I guess that's a default ending where I had to say something, but I couldn't really say anything. Well, it's red this time.
Here's the door.
Well, that worked. Oh. Money in the morning. Yeah, we had that. The voice box, yeah. So should I just go back now? I mean, I could also go down the stairs here and go into that area. So I do have other options, right? I could. Yeah, I know that nothing's good down there, that's what I mean, but it is an option. Door downstairs will be locked, okay. Okay. Hi, cruel world. You are now leaving. Okay. What if I don't want to? Okay. I know that they say 760 is escape pod bay and all of that, but I'm still curious if there's something in between. Probably not. I don't know. Hard to tell with this game. Well, here we are. What's that behind you? I don't know. I missed the ending. Are you serious? Yeah, I don't know. It felt weird going into nothing without any point of reference.
When Stanley came to a set of two
I mean,
open
I can
doors,
do it again,
he
right?
entered the door on his left.
Feel that ending is glitched? Maybe I'll just try it again. I mean, we have to go to the boss's office again anyway and hope that it's blue, right?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
Your office?
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office,
What?
hoping he might
I'm
find an
confused.
answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's
When it
office.
starts, like when my office is blue. Ah, okay.
Here's the door, just go.
Just an escape pod. Okay. Was my office in the beginning blue? I don't quite know. It's hard to press 8 when you don't have a...
Eight.
Oh, I got an achievement. I got 8. Okay. That's something. Thanks for the achievement, I guess. So if I just keep restarting the mind control route, okay. I guess Hikari still has something to show me during the mind control route. Route, route, I don't know.
Stanley walked
Never
straight ahead
understand.
through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
So what am I supposed to do on this path? All the monitors, don't take the elevator.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he
Like
have
get on the
strength
elevator and
to
then
find
get
out?
off again, or just ignore it and wait?
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee
Ignore.
in the building.
Okay.
Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals.
Ignore and
reduced
wait,
to
or ignore and go
individual
back.
screen. And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
I'll opt for ignore and wait until you tell me otherwise, but... Ignore and don't even call, or... So many options. Don't want to do something that makes me replay this whole minute again, so call it but don't go in, alrighty.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Yeah, Hikari knows everything. Hikari also knows all the Easter eggs in the Talos Principle. If he doesn't tell me to go back, then I'll just wait. I mean, I could also go back, but yeah, I go back. Okay. No, it's not open. Oh. Never give up on your dreams. You never go backward. Go, go, Secret Ranger! Secrets for President 2016! That would have been better, yes. Secrets Room 2014! Secrets of the year every year! Happy secrets to you! To the Secret Bros! Secrets all the way! Don't touch the secrets! Kids and their loud music. Yeah, I hope I don't wake Cosmo up again. William hides the best secrets. Yeah, once you go secret, there's no going back. Alright, I think this is it. We've seen pretty much all of the secret. take the elevator.
No, he refused to believe
Or
it.
I have to restart. So blue office, you say? I'm so bad at noticing differences. Like, I know that things are different frequently. This doesn't look too blue. Open console. Wait, it's blue. Ah, okay. So you mean the outside? This
All of his
part.
co-workers were
Okay, yeah, I
gone.
did know that
What
we
could
had
it mean?
different
Stanley
outside
decided to
areas.
go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had
Okay,
simply missed a memo.
so just so that I don't get it wrong, I am supposed to go to the boss's office again, right? Try open doors. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh! Welcome to the whiteboard ending! Console, bark. How do I get into the console? I know where it normally is, but... I mean, maybe I can just set it in the options. Ah, there we go. Yeah, I don't know if it... Is it this key? Might be. Nah, it just doesn't work on that key, I guess. It's because of different keyboard layouts. Typically you have it in a different position. So let's go with... Can we do this? Ah, there we go. Okay. There we go. That's where the console key normally is. Cheating ending when? Maybe when... this... No, it's okay. Yeah, we leave it like this. Back. Resume the game. Console. Bark. Why is the console still not opening? Oh, come on. Different key. The console's definitely active now. 0 bots, 1 humans. Here we go. Bark. Yeah, I tried that. That's just bark is does nothing that we can see, and this says unknown command bark. Oh wait, I mean we could also try if it's case sensitive. Oh, keep playing. Alright.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference. Nor did it advance the story in any way.
Okay. Who let the dogs out? Come on, you can do better than that. Well, I guess we got the whiteboard ending then. Okay, I think I'm gonna end it soon. Do you have any more super epic Easter eggs and or endings that I should find? Thanks for telling me about this one. This is cool, and I like the little console type cheat into console, or SV cheats 1. Okay, let's see about that. Should I guess I go with SV cheats 1.
Stanley, this is me being serious. In fact, this is my serious room. It's where I come to be serious. That table is the most serious table I could find.
I'm
I
sorry.
looked at many, many tables, hundreds of tables. It's possible I looked at over 1,000 tables. I honestly don't know. The specific number isn't as important as the understanding that of all tables I looked at, this one is the most serious. I relate this story to impress upon you the extent to which this is the most serious room I have, which is why I brought you here. You just tried to activate server cheats, which of course runs the risk of breaking the entire game. You've got no respect for the strict order of scripted narrative events, and I just can't have that. It's time to get serious, Stanley. No jokes, no games. Outside of this room, I might be more tolerant of those things, but now we're in the room. Which is why I'm subjecting you to the most serious punishment I can think of. 100 billion trillion years standing here in the serious room. Perhaps after that, we can talk about the severity of your actions and whether you've learned anything. But until then, serious room, go.
1,000,000 years dungeon!
Oh. Good point. Let's not learn anything.
Whoa, did we not have the talk? Are we not in the serious room this very moment? Did I not tell you how many tables I looked through? I'm going to be conservative and say it was somewhere in the tens of thousands of tables. Any reasonable person would say I spent an absurd amount of time doing nothing but looking at tables, and I genuinely considered each one too. I took a hell of a lot of notes. I kept the notes in a different room. That room is less serious than this one. It's more of a notes room. Again, the point of this story is to convey how serious I feel this cheating issue is. And I'm sure you'll agree with me once you've fulfilled your new punishment. Infinity years in the serious room. I generally have trouble reading human emotions, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that you're devastated by this crippling new punishment.
Yes.
As well you should be. It's the most serious I could think of. Can you get more serious than that? No, you can't. Don't try.
But what if I cheat again?
Still no effect. The problem is clearly the serious room. It isn't serious enough. That's on me, Stanley. I apologize. I'm going to the store to look through more tables. Hopefully I find one that conveys how wrong what you're doing is. Now, where did I put those notes?
Yeah, this should be what happens when you try to cheat in online games. Oh. That's still not... I mean, that totally destroys the seriousness of the room, right? Oh, nothing more. I'll just lie down here till narrator comes back. Okay, one more try. Nothing. Okay. Restart. I was about to. I wonder if it works. Yeah, it does. That's good. We saw the real person ending, right? I'm not sure. How would I get that? Increment var. this is nice.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh well. Serious Hikari business. We're cheating now. It's just the cosmetics though, right? I mean, secret in console. I should type secret there, or you just mean it is a console secret? Now do freedom ending.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
How did
he
freedom
entered the
ending
door on
go
his left.
again? Freedom ending was like jumping from the thing, right? Do everything you're told? Do what you're told. Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story
no.
as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single
Why
minute
did we have to
just
put it in
let the
anyway?
narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
So the other ending you mentioned, yeah, I did unplug the
Feeling
phone.
soothed and rejuvenated,
Don't fully
Stanley
remember
calmly
what
walked forward
ending it
into
led
the
to,
opened passageway.
but I did that.
Descending deeper into the
Hello,
building,
kitty.
Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Kitty was in the game for a second. Yeah, that would still...
Stanley walked straight
Not
ahead
be
through the large
too
door that
surprising.
read Mind Control Facility.
Oh yes, I remember, and then we said... Oop.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore
Fail
the
to
number
load
of an
sound.
employee
Can
in the
create
building.
mixer.
Stanley's
silence.wave.
The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
The credits roll.
For he would dismantle the controls once and
should have saved.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Like now, maybe? Secret.
Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine! Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's
save
grasp?
right now? I can, okay.
What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
There are no credits. There is no credits rolling. Or was that final part the credits? The outro? Go to the phone? What was supposed... Can select credits from the main menu. Mr. Rayk, I guess let's see. Let's see if there's this...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
I have unplugged the phone, but I don't really remember what I have done. Or what happened after that. Actually, it was one of... I think it might have been my second ending, so I don't quite remember.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Unplugged it once. Oh, wait, this is wrong. What? Ah, here. Or... Ah, there.
Hi, Stanley. Just wanted to leave you a message to let you know there's a few things I need you to pick up on your way home from work today. We need milk, cereal, dish soap, spaghetti, get a thing of sugar, some bread, and coffee beans, whichever ones you like. I'll give you a call if there's anything I forgot. Thanks, sweetie. See you tonight.
Yeah, that was interesting. Do your headphones have surround sound? No. But they, I mean, still stereo helps you a little bit with pinpointing the location. I mean, mono also does, but yeah.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life.
What should I do after unplugging it? I mean, I don't quite remember what I did the first time, but what are the options? Like, which actions lead to which different endings? Or, like, don't describe the ending, but, like, you go back to the 2-door room. Like, after unplugging it, you can go all the way back. Or it just resets and then you do that.
That's her, Stanley. Oh, no, you can't. Did you just unplug the phone?
Yep, for the second
That wasn't
time.
supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check.
Oh yes, this I remember. Yeah, you are doing stuff you aren't supposed to do because you are a real person and I have let you run around all the time. I do remember that.
Music comes in, fade to white,
now
roll
he's...
credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action.
So now I know what you're referring to. I was just not
supposed to mean anything.
Didn't have it saved completely.
How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you...
Yeah, and the video on choices, like, yeah, I remember now, yes, the tutorial video basically telling you how to make choices. Yeah, this is a cool ending, sorry, my mind just... I was pretty tired to begin with, so my brain is having... There's a choice after this. Okay.
Run around in this game for so long. If you made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol.
Not sure which one I picked.
Decision-making. Or did you not
but I will
grasp
remember
the
probably
severity of the situation?
when I'm there.
Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. but if used incorrectly can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should
there
you
actually
make
not a choice to make?
that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all
then I guess we can go for the secret from the main menu. There is a choice, but...
Then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
No, we'll see.
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Ah, welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Yeah, like I can't fall down here anymore because we've got...
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Oh, I think actually the ending might have crashed on me. I think I had to restart because the screen just stayed black. That's something I remember.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world. Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task.
Oh, I thought the right door was just closed then.
Right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that?
Oh, but I think I've not tried this, so this is kinda cool. Because I did not see this hallway before. That's kinda nice, and I think one of the endings kinda like ended on a black screen and nothing worked anymore. Yeah, so I have to go left. Well, let's see it through.
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe after everything we talked about that my story, you've destroyed my work.
I'm not sure if I've seen this.
For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone? Left here like so much garbage. It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do?
Yeah,
Even
I
if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I
No, I have to. I have to shut the game down.
yeah, and
I have to.
I think we got here, but then the screen just stayed black, I think. Oh yes, I think this I might not have seen. This seems new.
Oh, I'm here.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
still
I've not
here,
seen this.
Here in this pile of rubbish. With you, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed.
Yes, this is new.
It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry.
Okay.
Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh, it's all green. And it's weird.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Oh.
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in
Yeah,
disbelief.
we have the voice
who
thingy here
orchestrated
now.
this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all
Oh
the
yes,
answers
yeah,
to his
that's how it
questions.
ended.
And beyond
That
all
I remember.
probability,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115.
Night Shark
Was this the code to open
115.
the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown.
Okay.
He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
I think it didn't work.
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver.
I'm
right there on the
trying.
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise, we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step. Okay, fine, you're not going to do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one
Yeah, but I
single
might have
thing,
just
for your
listened
respect.
to the
The kind of
narrator
respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what
immediately,
it means to take a story
like after
seriously.
we
If
went
you
back,
didn't want to see what I
unplugging
had
the
to
phone
show
and
you,
all,
then why
not
did you
going
come
right,
here?
because I
You had a
definitely
choice, you know.
didn't
You could have gone
remember
through the door on the right. You could have
being
done
in the
whatever the hell
destroyed
you wanted over there. Why did you come this way?
destroyed
Speak.
world.
Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward.
This I remember.
When Stanley
This I
came to
don't.
the set of 2 open doors, he entered the door.
This
on
I
his
don't
own.
remember. Think he had broke. For real.
Stanley? Hello? Is everything okay?
This I've not seen.
Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice.
Oh,
I need you to walk through the door.
hi Stanley.
Are you listening to me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, this I didn't see.
Is everything all right? Stanley, this is
Oh, we
important.
get credits.
The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together.
What if I type secret now?
I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something.
Oh,
Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there?
okay, from the menu, alright.
It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide.
This is
Time to be
devastating.
sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right.
Oh,
Wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
poor narrator. Alright, alright. Besides, there is one ending left. Okay, so aside from the secret thing, I mean, I guess we can just do the secret thing from the menu. Credits. I can't access the console right now. The baby ending? No, I did the baby ending. I thought. Oh, where you have to do this for 4 hours, like save the baby for 4 hours. Ah, the song. Okay. Is this... Should I recognize the song? No, I'm not gonna do that today. Or look it up on YouTube. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. That we can do. And then I have to go to bed. I actually had to go to bed ages ago, but eh. So, what is this music? Should I be familiar with it? Why is it a secret? It's nice. I like it, but... Alrighty. Then it is YouTube time, I suppose. Yep. There we go. I mean, we have a bit of speedrunning stuff on the side, but I guess that's fine. Let's see. Oh, there's something in the background already. Puppy eating humans. Piranhas, not humans. So the game changed? Oh, okay. You have to now press both buttons, I see. So it gets even more difficult later on, like more difficult. 2 buttons. Okay, I see. Well, then it's fun. Then I could do it for 4 hours. Yeah, you also wouldn't want a puppy get eaten by piranhas. That would not be nice. So it starts after 2 hours that you get the puppy, and then you have to do it for another 2 hours. Yeah, it seems like that. Wow, that's fun. I guess we still have 5 minutes more of this because but interesting. Oh wait, something's happening. Alright.
Is about to burrow into your skull.
Well, this is hell.
Your transcendence and oneness with the mighty and essence of all beings. Just a few
Fear me, mortal. I am the essence of divine art. Others but you cannot read this text. Oh no! We cheated. Know that when you die, I will personally carry your spirit across the river Blixen into my garden built within the emotions of a flower. There we will live together, we will dance and eat and sin, and you will do improv comedy based on suggestions from me for all eternity. Lovely. What a dream. This is your reward for your work here today. Go now, live your normal human existence and await me in the life that follows this one. Alright, I love you. And that's it. The narrator does talk at points during a couple of times. Where's the obelisk? Now do the ending. No! No. Oh. No way. Might actually be stupid enough to do it. Maybe I'll do a subathon at some point and I'll have it as a 100 sub rewards or something. If people are crazy enough to do that, then I will have a reward doing this ending in the Stanley Parable. Woobat! No! Woobat, welcome in. Thank you for the raid. Nice seeing you. How was your stream? We are just ending, but I'm so happy to see you. And I'll just move this wonderful raid along to somewhere else, but first have a shout out and tell me about your stream. Stanley Parable was pretty awesome. It's so weird, but also so well done, especially considering that it came out like 8 years ago, or like the first version like 10 years ago. It's like, it's so well done. The narrator is so awesome. The game has some really, really cool ideas and some really torturing ideas as well. But it's just fun. It's really cool. Like really, really well done. Totally chaotic, but in a good way. Like it feels really. I will think about this game for a while to come. It was a bit much to do on one stream, even though it was just 5 hours of content. But there's like. I don't know how many endings this game has. I have seen plenty of different outcomes to the seemingly simple setup of a story. And yeah, towards the end I had almost forgotten the endings I got at the beginning. So no, but this is awesome. I can recommend it. So if you want to have a really interesting game to play and or to stream, I can definitely recommend it. So yeah, thanks for the raid. I'll check who else is online. Alright, so I am gonna say thank you to everyone who was here. Thank you so much, Soupy Doorman, for all the input during the game. Have a quick shout out before we end this. Thank you, Hikari, of course. Hikari, you don't really stream, but whatever. You're still gonna get a shout out. Also, thanks to you for all the valuable input. Really appreciate it. Was really fun doing this with all of you, and hope to see you next time. Thanks. Sleep well or have a great time zone. Bye.